So in this example, I'm gonna show you how the audio kind of works in the MPC 3.0 especially. So I have an audio track here and a drum loop, like just regular drum program right above it. And if I press play, you can hear that the audio that I put in here is synced to the tempo and drum track. It's a little bit off, but I mean, it works. And so originally, if I press warp, this is what it sounded like. Clearly it's off, but if I press warp, it sticks to the BPM. Let's say, okay, so because the loop was originally 128 BPM instead of 100 BPM, so if I change the BPM of the track, you can hear that it actually maintains its BPM. And I didn't realize this, but you see how 127, it's like kind of faded out color. If I change it to 128, the color is faded in. That means that was the original BPM. So if I went, let's say, to 130, obviously it changes color because it's now showing that it's not the original tempo of the sample itself that we're using. And then what I can do is copy and paste this, or duplicate it, I mean. So let's just duplicate it a few times. And now, yeah, so the last one wasn't needed, so I could just delete that, I guess. There we go. So I can just put that back right there, and it's snapping to the grid. And another thing is, since I'm in warp, I think I can also change the semitones. Let's see. Oh, you have to actually individually change them. So, oops, okay, 130, semitones. So you can individually change even if it's the same sample, you can change the semitones, fade in, fade out, to all of them to have different fade ins, fade outs, semitone information. Yeah, as you can see, the last one is at -10 instead of -8, where the other ones are at -8. But I put that one on -8 now. And let's duplicate that one more time. Actually, I don't need to duplicate it because I just want to maintain a 4-bar loop. So that's 4 bars. And another cool thing is you can actually do fade in and out. But I'll give a different example. So let's create a different audio track. And what I'm going to do is mix this a little bit down. And let's just call this like loop, perk loop. The new audio track, what I'm going to do is load some sort of like an ambient pad or something. Okay, for example, I'm going to use this. I don't know how long it is. I don't really care. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's just some like sample, right? So that's the sample right here. As you can see, it's going actually farther than the bars. So it looks like it's quite a long sample. It is a very, very long sample. So I have like over 83 bars of a sample here, but realistically speaking, I don't need to use that much. What I'm going to do is turn this down and put a kill EQ on it quickly so it doesn't sound that bad. And there we go. So now I'm going to actually adjust, there we go, a little bit. Okay, so let's say I like these parts and I want to just loop a section. What I can do is go to this area right here. Let's say I want like this part. I can either use my cursor and drag and from like this corner part here, I can either do it that way or I can use the scissor tool or cut tool and make a cut, and it cuts, as far as I know, right on the lines, but this one, in this case, it actually didn't. So I can still like cut there, delete these ones with my erase tool. This is like the zoom in and out tool, or moving around without like actually messing with the audio sample itself. I can then go ahead and use my cursor and drag this all the way here to the very beginning, because I liked that part of the sample, so I want to loop that part. And if I don't want the rest of this, I can simply just cut it and erase the rest, so that way it's just gonna loop. And as you can see, I actually made it longer, but that's all good. I can actually duplicate these as well to maintain its actually I duplicated too many times now. So what I'm going to do is, I don't need 89 bars, so I'm just going to go back to, I'll make it an 8-bar loop instead. Go here, select all my MIDI, and then click Shift, duplicate, but I just need to nudge it because MIDI is a little bit finicky-er. But yeah, so now when I play it, I have a sample at the bottom that's just gonna loop. I'm gonna mute the other tracks and just loop this. So you can kind of hear it click when it's looping at the end and back to the beginning. It's minor, but you can hear it. So if I don't want that kind of click or clip to be there, simply all I have to do is select my audio track here, select this, and I'm already in the fade in, fade out menu. So like I'm in edit. So you want to go to edit. It shows the information of what the track name is, level of the track. You can actually adjust the level of the track here, of the audio sample itself. If you go to the right cursor, you see fade in and fade out. So I'm just going to adjust it to 6, for example, or maybe 8, just to like have it fade in and out more. Now, there's no click when it comes back around and loops. You won't hear an audible click. The only thing that I found is when I press warp, it will change the actually now it all disappeared for some reason, so that's not really cool either. But let's say if I, okay, so like, okay, now it's kind of reappearing a little bit. But yeah, when it comes to like samples that don't have any BPM tempo information on it, I find that the MPC kind of struggles a little bit to figure out what's going on, basically, if you're using the warp tool. But so I'm just dragging this out to see if there's any more. So you can kind of hear it changes the information a little bit on this. So, okay. Now what I'm going to do is just cut this part again. And, oops. Okay, so let's go like this. And I want to be in the 8 bar. Cut this right here. Delete this. Now let's go back to 8 bars. And let's hear what it sounds like. So this one, it seemed to work fine. Let me see. Warp is actually not selected anymore for some reason. So let me just see what's going on here. Yeah, like, again, I'm not sure what happened to this, but, oh, okay, sorry, it is warped. The fade out is gone, but let me just go like this. And let me see if I can. So I'm also changing the semitones. It detected 91.51 BPM. So it kind of works similar to Ableton, where it's just kind of detecting, but obviously not as advanced. And that's what I was gonna show is I have this fade in and out, and you can hear this audible click when it's looping. So it kind of doesn't work that well, in my opinion, when you're using warp, especially for fading in and out. Yeah, but either way, if I take warp off, you can't change the semitones, but the fade in and out will work better. So the only thing that I found with using audio is if you're fading in and out but you're using warp, it doesn't work as well for using fade in and out. So it kind of is what it is, but yeah, you can still hear the audio click. But let's take away the fade in and out and let's see what happens. Yeah, so the alternative is just when you're bringing in audio samples, try to manipulate the pitch, semitones, whatever, sample before you make it an audio file. That way you know what kind of sound you're going for, and then you can put fade in and out. And if you do want to use warp, then you can use loops that have a definitive BPM or tempo to them. That way it will warp accordingly, because there are loops that have those information on it where it's saying this is the BPM, and it has a better chance to detect it properly rather than just like some random sample that doesn't have any of the tempo information on it. And then you won't really get a good warp from trying to sync it to the tempo. But in my opinion, like if you're just going for some kind of cool or weird abstract elements, you don't really need to use the warp feature. It would be better to just resample, pitch down whatever you need to, and then use your fade in, fade out so there's no click. And but if you're using a loop that is more like set, and it detects the BPM properly, then it will probably warp fine. But again, just be careful for the fade in and out, and should be good to go. And yeah. All right, that's all for today. Peace out. Thank you for watching.